Here's the hazardous weather outlook for portions of north central Illinois, northeast Illinois, and northwest Indiana. This was issued 2:31 p.m. Central Standard Time, Saturday, December 10th, 2022, 3:31 Eastern Standard Time. For tonight, weather hazards expected: limited fog risk. Fog and drizzle this evening will result in visibilities falling under 1 mile at times. Sunday through Friday. For Tuesday and Wednesday, limited non-thunderstorm wind risk. Spotter activation will not be necessary through tonight. Weather forecast discussion issued about a half hour ago, 7:47 p.m. for Chicago, Romeoville, Illinois. This is from the National Weather Service in Romeoville, Illinois. Saturday, December 10th, 2022. Visibilities have been dropping across the heart of the county warning area this evening. Seems to be within the very broad and baggy trough axis. This week, trough will continue to move east across the county warning area with light westerly winds locking in behind the front. Ever so slightly drier air will advect in with the westerly winds, and while the drying is minimal, the impacts on visibilities to our west has been substantial. So while there are a couple sites down to 1/4 of a mile right now, would anticipate the dense fog to be temporary with improving visibilities as winds become westerly. We'll continue to closely monitor observational trends, and if the upward trend in visibility does not continue to progress east into our county warning area, may need to consider a short dense fog advisory. For now, given the spotty and anticipated rather short-lived nature of dense fog, just handling it with a special weather statement and graphical nowcasts. The area of more widespread showers that developed over the northern Chicago metro has dissipated and moved out of the area. Should continue to see drizzle and perhaps an isolated shower the next couple or few hours until the slightly drier air advects in from the west. This was written by Izzy. Short-term forecast through tonight through Sunday night, issued 2:23 p.m. Central Standard Time, Saturday, December 10th, 2022. No sign of the sun anywhere within about 400 miles, as dense low stratus remains trapped under a subsidence inversion that's gradually building down through 800 MB. Realistically, our chances of breaking out of the clouds through the short-term portion of the forecast are low. This persistent stratus will likely mute the diurnal temperature range and have knocked a few degrees off the blended highs for tomorrow as a result. A series of low amplitude short waves will shuttle overhead tonight and into tomorrow, with the first just now about to cross into Illinois. This was again 2:47 p.m. this afternoon. Have noted a recent expansion of radar returns off the Davenport Quad Cities radar, and this is likely the next round of drizzle getting set to develop eastward. Forecast soundings depict low-level lapse rates steepening up a bit this evening and overnight, with even a smidge of instability materializing under the inversion, suggesting pockets of either heavier drizzle or bona fide showers are possible as this activity spreads across the region. The dry layer between an incoming mid-level cloud deck and the top of the stratus layer seems too dry and deep for much of a cedar feeder response. But suppose if a few showers are able to grow deep enough that some snow could work its way into the mix, but that seems like a lower probability given the strength of the subsidence inversion and cloud top temperatures currently warmer than about 5 degrees below 0 Celsius. In addition, a mist fog, which has lingered off to our west through the day, will also likely slosh eastward as the low-level flow turns more westerly, so visibility reductions, perhaps under 1 mile at times, appears plausible this evening. As was the case last night, the thick stratus will likely hold temperatures nearly steady tonight, which will thankfully curtail the threat for freezing drizzle-related travel impacts. Do think at least patchy drizzle will linger through the overnight as additional vort lobes pivot overhead. Threat for drizzle seems to be lower tomorrow as the inversion builds down further, limiting cloud depths. High-resolution rapid refresh models /RAP continue to show some low-level instability, which is likely why they're producing spotty precipitation. Currently have a dry forecast for most of the area at this time, noting a weak diffuse inverted trough slated to push across the lake tomorrow night, Monday morning, with a developing signal for perhaps a little precipitation into northeast Illinois, maintained sub-15 precipitation chances for now. That was written by Carlaw. Here's the long-term forecast discussion for Chicago, Illinois, in the Rockfield, Romeoville, Illinois National Weather Service. For Rockport, Illinois as well, issue 2:23 p.m. Central Standard Time, Saturday, December 10th, 2022, Monday through Saturday. Main forecast concern for next week continues to be the large storm system that will bring chances for rain Tuesday and Wednesday, with chances for snow looking possible towards the end of the week. An upper-level ridge will be moving through the area at the start of the period on Monday, which will keep conditions dry heading into Tuesday morning. Unfortunately, forecast soundings continue to show some lingering moisture in the lower levels, in addition to an advancing moisture plume aloft that looks to keep mostly cloudy skies intact through this period. As the ridge begins to exit the area late Monday night, an upper-level trough will be entering the central plains, with an upper low expected to take shape Tuesday afternoon. At the surface, a cold front will be taking shape across the Mississippi River Valley, with a warm front lifting northward into the Tennessee Valley. That warm front, by the way, could be intense. Guidance continues to show that 40 to 50 degree dew points will be lifting northward with the warm front into central Illinois before the front stalls, which will put 30 to 40 degree dew points across northeastern Illinois and northwest Indiana. Couple this surface moisture with the strong synoptic forcing and the deep layer moisture of PWATs around a half an inch to 3/4 of an inch or more of water equivalent, creating favorable conditions for a healthy dose of rain by the middle of next week. Both deterministic and ensemble guidance continue to be in agreement with the rain getting underway late in the day on Tuesday and continuing through Wednesday afternoon as the aforementioned cold front pushes across the area. In addition to the rainfall, winds ahead of the cold front are also expected to be rather gusty as guidance continues to show a strong 40 to 50 knot low-level jet developing overhead, which the atmosphere should be able to tap into with ease. The gusty winds look to peak overnight Tuesday night and then gradually ease through the day on Wednesday as the center of the upper low begins to track closer to the area. Once the cold front moves through the area late in the day on Wednesday, colder air will move in, which will drop temperatures from the upper 40s to near 50 degrees Wednesday afternoon to the lower 30s by Thursday morning. This change in temperature should transition the rain into a rain-snow mix and then to all snow heading towards late week's end. However, there continues to be some uncertainty in how quick the rain-to-snow transition would occur, given that guidance varies on the timing and location of a pronounced dry slot directly behind the front and ahead of the upper low. At this time, the European and Canadian models look to be in close agreement that the dry slot would move over northeastern Illinois Wednesday night, with the upper low passing through on Thursday, but the earlier GFS runs were a tad slower with the upper low and did not move the dry slot until Thursday. However, the latest 12 Zulu run appears to be trending closer to the European and Canadian, with a more progressive transition to snow. At this time, the NBM forecast seems to handle this transition decently, with a more middle-of-the-road solution to what is described above. For now, I have left the NBM forecast as is, which maintains a 20 to 40% chance for precipitation forecast through the end of next week, with the mention of a rain-snow mix gradually becoming mainly snow through the end of the forecast period. Here's the area forecast discussion from the New York National Weather Service, issued 8:39 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Saturday, December 10th, 2022. This is for New York City. A synopsis: a weak area of low pressure impacts the area Sunday into early Monday. This will be followed by high pressure through the middle of next week. Low pressure looks to impact the region later in the week for the Thursday into Friday timeframe. Here's the near-term forecast discussion from the New York National Weather Service, issued 8:39 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Saturday, December 10th, 2022. This is until 6 a.m. Sunday morning Eastern Standard Time. Mostly cloudy tonight as an onshore flow continues, allowing for a deck of stratus to spread westward across the area as low-level moisture increases. In addition, the mid to high-level moisture will be moving in from the west ahead of a short wave approaching from the Great Lakes region. It will remain dry tonight with lows in the 20s inland and lower 30s elsewhere. Here's the short-term forecast from the New York City, New York National Weather Service. This is from 6 a.m. Sunday morning through Sunday night. This was issued December 10th, 8:39 p.m., 2022. No meaningful adjustments made with this update as the forecast appears to be right on track. On Sunday, a shortwave trough and its associated weak low pressure over the Great Lakes region will approach the region. High pressure will continue to ridge across New England, which will force the low to redevelop offshore well south of Long Island by Sunday night. An area of precipitation will move into the region from the west Sunday morning and spread east across the area through the day. As the low transfers offshore Sunday evening into Sunday night, the precipitation will gradually sink south and east and offshore. Easterly flow ahead of the system will keep the boundary layer too warm to support any snow across the New York City metro and Long Island Sunday into the first half of Sunday night. A mixture of rain and snow is expected further inland across interior northeast New Jersey, the lower Hudson Valley, and southern Connecticut, with predominantly snow expected across western Passaic County, Orange County, eastward into Putnam County, and interior South Connecticut, as temperatures are forecast to be colder across these locations. Any brief burst of moderate precipitation should be able to overcome any potential boundary layer warming during the day across the interior. Forecast snowfall amounts have increased slightly across Orange County, with anywhere between 3 to 5 inches expected. Elsewhere across the interior of northeast New Jersey, lower Hudson Valley, and interior southwest Connecticut, a general 1 to 3 inches forecast, with amounts lowering as one heads south and east. A winter weather advisory is in effect for Orange County from mid-morning on Sunday through early Monday morning. Snow amounts have also increased slightly across western Passaic County and northern Putnam County, but it remains marginal. Therefore, I've held off on any winter headlines for now across these areas. It is possible, however, that a winter weather advisory may be extended into these counties later tonight. Here's the long-term weather forecast from the New York City National Weather Service. This was issued 8:39 p.m. Saturday, December 10th, 2022. This will cover Monday through Saturday. Low pressure pulls up into the Canadian Maritimes on Monday with just the slight chance of some lingering light precipitation across the area, mainly in the form of some leftover flurries or some light snow. The mid-levels will be drying out, so anything that falls will be very light. Skies should gradually begin to clear out by late morning and early afternoon. By late in the day, skies should start to completely clear out on a deep north flow regime. It will be a brisk and seasonably chilly day with temperatures maxing out primarily in the upper 30s to lower 40s. Look for clear and cold conditions into Monday night with a few teens well inland, otherwise mainly 20s to around 30 degrees for low temperatures. Similar temperatures take place right through the midweek with an upper level low meandering just north of Maine and towards Nova Scotia. This will continue to funnel down seasonably chilly air on a north to northwest flow at the surface. This should result in temperatures averaging a good 5 degrees or more below average through midweek. By Wednesday night and early Thursday, our attention turns to a closed low feature over the plains and the Midwest. With a rather blocky pattern in place with high heights towards Hudson Bay and south of the Davis Strait, this storm system should be prevented from cutting well west of the area, and thus a more suppressed storm track is suggested solely based on teleconnections, at least initially. The block is oriented like a quasi-omega block. However, the block will gradually break down with the closed low near the 50-50 latitude-longitude position lifting out. This will take any confluence zone nearby to the north and northeast along with it. This is important because the air mass to the north is not unusually cold. Therefore, when low pressure starts to lift towards the area, it is expected that the approaching surface low may track closer to the coast, with maritime air likely to come into much of the area. This will have a big influence on precipitation types with this event. There is a chance that the entire area may begin as snow, but mainly rain is expected after onset for the city and coast, with more of a maritime influence expected, and not strong enough cold air to keep the maritime air at bay. Further inland, especially northwest areas, may see more of a snow or snow to rain wintry mix scenario. And it's still rather far out to get into this in great detail, but it seems that this is the more likely scenario this far out. The storm system is then expected to pull away just in time for the start of next weekend, with seasonably chilly temperatures remaining. Temperatures should be near to slightly below normal into next weekend. The following is from Minneapolis, Minnesota. The hazardous weather outlook, 7:11 p.m. Central Standard Time, Saturday, December 10th, 2022. This hazardous weather outlook is for portions of central and southern Minnesota and west central Wisconsin for tonight. Areas of fog and freezing fog will continue. Days 2 through 7, Sunday through Friday. A powerful storm system will impact the region Monday night through Thursday, with periods of mixed wintry precipitation. The best chance for significant snowfall and or ice accumulations is across central and western Minnesota. Precipitation turning to mostly rain across southern and eastern Minnesota into western Wisconsin by Tuesday night will limit the risk of significant snow or ice accumulation in those areas. Area forecast discussion updated for the Twin Cities, 5:52 p.m. Central Standard Time, Saturday, December 10th, 2022. This is the discussion that was issued at 2:25 p.m. Central Standard Time. Key messages: humid air mass will lead to occasional flurries and patchy fog through Sunday morning. A complex winter system will impact the north-central U.S. next week with high winds and a variety of precipitation types from snow to freezing rain to rain. Saturday evening through Sunday, a very moist low-level atmosphere and boundary layer will stick with us through Sunday morning. This means continued overcast skies and low clouds with occasional snow flurries. As temperatures start to slowly fall again this evening into tonight, fog or a mist will form as relative humidity approaches 100%. We will likely see at least patchy fog through Sunday morning when temperatures begin to warm again. With higher surface pressure moving in on Sunday, our chances for precipitation should be near zero until the large winter system arrives next week. With clouds expected through the period, temperatures will not drop much at night or rise much during the day, so expect lows in the 20s and highs in the 30s, except for western Minnesota, where we could see some clearing. Some clearing could occur to provide some cooler lows into the teens, Monday through Thursday. This period will be all about next week's large winter storm. This is again for the Minneapolis, Minnesota, or at least it's from the Minneapolis, Minnesota National Weather Service. The Twin Cities. Monday through Thursday this week, Monday, December 12th. This period will be all about next week's large winter storm. This is a complex system with a variety of impacts thanks to temperature differences above, below, and near freezing in different quadrants of the low. For this reason, the track of this low will be very important, as locations to the north of the low will be in the colder sector and will be favored to get the most snow with mixed precipitation close to the low. This is also where a trowel could develop and create a band of heavier snow along the warm conveyor belt. Dynamically, this looks to be a strong system based on the EFI 500 MB and 850 MB wind anomalies. We will see significant warm air and moisture transport along the low's east side thanks to these high winds aloft. Also, if we can warm up under the warm air advection, then mixing could bring some of those winds to the surface. Therefore, we have a high wind threat. As mentioned earlier, the low track will be important for this system. The main low appears to be a Colorado low, starting off the lee of the Rockies in Colorado, tracking across Nebraska, and then right into the southwest Minnesota, southeast South Dakota, northwest Iowa area by Wednesday night. Therefore, the period with the greatest impacts will be on Tuesday and Wednesday as the low approaches from the southwest. There could be a dry sector on the south side of the low before it moves out west with wraparound snow continuing after. With this low track, we will see mostly snow across north and central Minnesota with a wide variety of precipitation types farther south. Across southern Minnesota, we could even see rain with above freezing temperatures during the day before transitioning over to snow as the cold air starts to move in on the back side of the system. there is still enough variability between ensemble members in the transition area that much of Minnesota and western Wisconsin are in that area, so we have not issued a watch yet. Despite this, we are confident in winter impacts across western and central Minnesota. It is just uncertainty in snow amounts and ice amounts that a watch has not been issued. Confidence should be high enough in the next 24 hours to make a decision on a winter storm watch. Bottom line is to expect winter weather Tuesday and Wednesday, with impacts varying significantly based on location, with lighter snow from the wraparound on Thursday. Friday into next weekend, the GFS and some members of the GEFS suggest that wraparound snow could continue in early Friday. But overall, the period of the forecast should be dry, as Arctic highs move in from Canada. This will start a period of cold and dry weather that will continue into at least the weekend, but likely longer. Here's for the Bismarck, North Dakota National Weather Service area forecast discussion. Update issued 5:41 p.m. Central Standard Time, Saturday, December 10th. The most notable adjustment for this update was to expand the mention of patchy fog to the west per latest rapid refresh guidance trends. We're going to skip over to the long term, Sunday night through Saturday. This was issued 3:27 p.m. Central Standard Time, Bismarck, North Dakota. A major winter storm remains on track to impact much of the region Monday night through mid to late week. Really long period. Sunday night into Monday, an upper low will close off and eventually move into the eastern Great Basin, while a surface low starts to deepen to the lee of the Rockies in eastern Colorado. By Monday afternoon, we should see a powerful upper level jet start to nose in across our south central and southeast. This forcing, along with low-level warm air advection, will help provide lift on Monday afternoon and evening, but soundings continue to suggest very dry mid-levels during this time frame, which will possibly lead to a period of drizzle or freezing drizzle across the far south central and into the James River Valley. As the mid-levels saturate with the advance of an inverted surface trough extending north of the low, snow will start to develop from the south to north Monday night into Tuesday morning. Sounding profiles suggest that a period of freezing rain or a wintry mix is possible across the same areas that saw freezing drizzle earlier in the day. When all is said and done, by Tuesday evening, we could see a few hundredths of an inch to a tenth of an inch or so of ice accumulation south central and into the James. The low becomes stacked late Tuesday into Wednesday. This is also the time frame when we will likely see some of the heaviest snowfall develop along one or more deformation bands. The low becomes stacked late Tuesday into Wednesday, slowly meandering from Nebraska into southeastern South Dakota. Most guidance finally kicks the system out of the region by Thursday afternoon, with only light snow lingering in the cyclonic flow aloft on the backside. It is worth noting that the operational GFS and a few various ensemble members are more stubborn about kicking the low out. This would keep the light snow in the forecast through Friday and possibly even into Saturday morning. This appears to be a low probability, and it's an outlier scenario, though. Not much has changed in our thinking regarding snowfall totals. The latest NBM version 4.1 continues to paint much of western and central North Dakota in the 50th to 90th percentile range for 12 inches of snow or greater. Significant accumulations are still likely further east across the James River Valley and into the Devil's Lake Basin, but uncertainty remains here about precipitation type issues, at least at the beginning of the event. So again, the latest NBM version 4.1, this is repeating because it's a significant statement, continues to paint much of western and central North Dakota in the 50th to 90th percentile range for 12 inches or greater. Winds will be gusty through the event, with gusts to 40 miles per hour possible, But for now, the blowing snow model continues to fall short of blizzard conditions. However, widespread areas of blowing snow will still contribute to lowered visibility values and near blizzard conditions, especially in open country. The only other thing to note is that there should not be a strong Arctic push behind this low, unlike similar systems in the past. This will mean chilly highs in the teens Friday and Saturday, but dangerous cold is not expected. Looking ahead, we should rebound back into warmer temperatures at the end of the weekend and into the next work week. There is a winter storm watch in effect for parts of that area late Monday night through late Wednesday night. The following is a winter storm watch issued 2:04 p.m. Central Standard Time, Saturday, December 10th, 2022, 1:04 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Winter storm watch remains in effect from late Monday night through late Wednesday night. Heavy snow with blowing and drifting snow is possible. Total snow accumulations between 6 to 14 inches possible. Winds could gust as high as 40 miles per hour. This is for western and central North Dakota. This is from late Monday night through late Wednesday night. Travel could be very difficult. Areas of blowing and drifting snow could significantly reduce visibility. Ice accumulations up to around 1/10 of an inch are possible in the far south central through the James River Valley. Monitor the latest forecasts for updates on this storm. If you have travel plans Monday night through Wednesday night, consider altering or canceling your plans. If travel is absolutely necessary, be sure to carry a winter survival kit in your vehicle. We're now going to look at an additional, we're going to go to the Memphis, Tennessee National Weather Service. Area forecast discussion. Area forecast discussion, National Weather Service, Memphis, Tennessee, issued 5:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, Saturday, December 10th, 2022. This evening through next Friday. This was issued 2:57 p.m. Central Standard Time. A cold front currently stretches from Nashville to Pine Bluff, Arkansas at this time. Showers with a few embedded thunderstorms are occurring along and ahead of the front. Temperatures are in the upper 40s to lower 50s behind the front, while ahead of the front, readings are in the lower 60s to low 70s. The front will sag south overnight into Sunday morning. Showers will taper off from north to south. By Sunday afternoon, expect the entire county warning area to be rain-free. Highs will be in the low 50s to low 60s. The dry conditions will continue into Monday as upper ridging occurs. But with surface winds out of the northeast, expect highs to be similar to Sunday. By Tuesday, surface winds turn around to the south, allowing an increase in moisture to surge up the Mississippi Delta. This will occur ahead of a vertically stacked low-pressure system that will be moving into the Central Plains. The system will become occluded. Usually that means it will be in a weakening phase, as the trailing cold front approaches the mid-south Tuesday night. As a result, the warm sector with surface-based CAPE values of less than 500 J/K G and low 60 dew points will get pinched off. This will limit the severe potential across the Mid-South. Right now, areas south of the Stuttgart, Arkansas to Oxford, Mississippi to Houston, Mississippi line would see the potential of strong to severe storms Tuesday night. We're now going to go over to the Shreveport National Weather Service forecast discussion. Here's the hazardous weather outlook, issued 12:32 p.m. Central Standard Time, Saturday, December 10th, 2022. This hazardous weather outlook is for south central Arkansas, southwest Arkansas, north central Louisiana, northwest Louisiana, southeast Oklahoma, east Texas, and northeast Texas. This afternoon and tonight, scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms along the I-30 corridor will progress south across I-20 this afternoon and eventually the entirety of the four-state area during the evening and overnight hours. Some gusty winds up to 40 miles per hour will be possible and stronger thunderstorms later today. Elevated thunderstorm activity may bring some hail, and even a brief tornado is not out of the question in deep East Texas and Toledo Bend County. It says Toledo Bend Country. Sunday through Friday, scattered showers and thunderstorms will diminish during the day Sunday. Storms will return to the region Tuesday with severe weather possible, particularly during the late afternoon and evening hours, as potentially dangerous supercell thunderstorms evolve into a squall line after sunset. This is Tuesday night. All modes of severe weather are being considered possible at this point, including hail, damaging winds, and tornadoes. Storms and rainfall will come to an end Wednesday, followed by significantly cooler conditions later in the week. We're now going to look at the New Orleans, Louisiana National Weather Service. Area forecast discussion. National Weather Service, New Orleans, Louisiana, issued 6:06 p.m. Central Standard Time, Saturday, December 10th, 2022. This evening through Sunday night, issued 4:24 p.m. Central Standard Time, New Orleans, Louisiana. Surface high pressure was centered along the Appalachians and over the northern Gulf of Mexico this afternoon. The high will start to lose its hold on our regional weather as it retreats eastward toward the eastern seaboard and northeastern Gulf tonight into Sunday. This is in response to a shortwave trough over western Texas that will be approaching the central Gulf Coast region tonight. The setup will once again be favorable for fog development tonight, but should be more confined to eastern portions of the forecast area compared to recent nights where the fog was more widespread across the entire area. This is due to overrunning clouds that will overspread the region from west to east tonight. Model diagnostics of relative humidity fields indicate the arrival of the denser cloud cover will be delayed until morning across our eastern zones. Additionally, the fog setup is more of a hybrid one, radiational and advective versus the radiational events over the past few nights. As southerly flow strengthens around the retreating high will advect the marine fog inland. The marine stratus fog from last night never dissipated off the Mississippi coast today, so it won't take much to move it back inland this evening. A dense fog advisory was issued for coastal Mississippi, where the highest probabilities of 1/4 mile visibility are forecast to reside tonight. There's potential that the advisory will need to be expanded west of the Pearl River into the North Shore and southwest Mississippi, depending on the timing of the upstream clouds. While aforementioned trough and attending cold front is rather weak, there should be enough forcing owing to strong jet dynamics, including coupled upper-level jet streaks and isentropic lift in the low to mid-level to provide a brief shot of organized, moderate rainfall to much of the forecast area late tonight into Sunday. The highest rainfall amounts are forecast to occur areas northwestern zones near 1 inch, with lesser amounts and slightly lower coverage expected farther south and east. It is anticipated the showers become much more scattered by the time it reaches coastal southeast Louisiana and Mississippi, with the best forcing lifting northeast of the region. The frontal boundary is expected to slow down as it reaches the coast late in the day Sunday and may even stall near the coast through Monday. The front has an anafrontal structure as well, with weak isentropic lift along and north of it. This will keep a risk of showers and especially closer to the coast. Accordingly, kept low chance precipitation percentages in the forecast Sunday night and Monday. The long-term New Orleans, Louisiana, Monday through Friday, Friday night forecast discussion, issued 4:24 p.m. Central Standard Time, Saturday, December 10th, 2022. The main concern in the long-term period is the threat of severe weather at the beginning of next week. Overall confidence in the timing and severe threat of the system has greatly improved over the past few days as models and ensemble guidance comes into much better agreement. The time of greatest concern for our area seems to be overnight Tuesday and into Wednesday morning. A trough will be ejecting from the southwest U.S. and advect into the southern plains by Tuesday evening. The trough looks to take on a neutral then negative tilt on Tuesday due to ridging over the Ohio Valley. The negative tilt of the trough will cause more robust surface cyclogenesis, and in response, surface winds will back ever so slightly due to the isobaric component. The backing of the surface wind, although very subtle, will only help wind shear to be sufficient for organized severe storms Tuesday night and Wednesday morning. The mass response ahead of the surface low in the warm sector will cause a low-level jet to form ahead of the ejecting trough. This initially sets up in the southern plains over Texas, but with time this risk will translate east into our area around midnight Tuesday night. Although the risk will occur at our diurnal minimum, thermodynamics look to be sufficient for severe weather as mid-level lapse rates look to be near 6.5 degrees Celsius per kilometer. The orientation of the low and mid-level jet favor a more linear storm mode as they are fairly parallel to each other. Therefore, if we're assuming a linear storm mode, lower thermodynamics are less of an issue as long as adequate forcing is present. However, ahead of the line, there is a slight possibility of a more cellular mode of convection as the jet orientations are more orthogonal to each other. In previous days, timing was the biggest question for this event. As previously mentioned here and other discussions, that has improved. There's two factors determining the progression of the trough and how soon it will arrive to the area. Another trough off of the northwest coast and ridging over the Ohio Valley. If the northwest trough were to kick the trough, the main trough would move through quicker, and a stronger ridge over the Ohio Valley would cause the trough to slow down. The northwest trough looks to phase out over the Pacific, and the ridge will break down and lead to a more progressive trough. Therefore, the system should be progressive overall and not cause as much of a heavy rain threat. After this system moves out of the area, temperatures will be closer to climatological normal after the cold front passes and cold air advection takes over. Zonal flow looks to dominate the rest of the long-term period. This is the end of the session for tonight.